e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com.
Welcome back. We're going to continue this conversation, I think, with Stan. I don't know, but, there's a lot of things going on right now, and there's always a lot of things going on when you're dealing with 22 high schools you oversee? 18. Okay, so 18 high schools. Last night, you got those 18 high schools plus others in Kern County, Kern Valley, Delano, who else was there? Taft was there. A lot of fun to have that all-star basketball game last night. You had the girls' game. Then you had the three-point shooting contest for both boys and girls. Then you played the first half of the boys' game, and then you had an electrifying slam dunk contest. That was a lot of fun. And you finish it off, and the music going on during the games, turning slam dunks into three-pointers, turning five-pointers into three-pointers in the last 5 minutes. I mean, all of that kind of stuff really made for this night to really be something special. And I know it's that and the volleyball all-star game those have been really big babies for you over the last 2 years. Now that you've gone through two each, how proud are you of these moments, these nights for these seniors to usher them out on the right note?
I guess I would start by saying I'm just very fortunate. I'm fortunate that my bosses have the trust in me to say, you think you can do that? And yeah, obviously the answer is yes. And they say, then let's do it. Yeah. And, I'm just very fortunate. I've had bosses that have just trusted me implicitly and said, hey, if you think you can do it, let's make sure we do it right. And my current boss right now she holds me back because she says, Stan, you gotta stop telling everybody yes. You're spreading yourself too thin. You're not going to be able to do it all, And so,
you sound like a boss I have that was just in this room.
Yeah. And it's always nice when you have that working relationship with your employer that trusts you and supports you and does all those things to make sure you're successful. And then on top of it, it's even better when they go beyond that and they make sure you're okay.
Right.
And so, I'm just fortunate, but proud. Yeah, I'm proud. I want to make sure our kids leave high school feeling good about it and feel like they've had a great experience.
And that's the thing, is that when you look at high-level basketball teams, there's only a few that get to end their high school careers with a win. Because if you're a high-end basketball team, you're going to lose. You're going to end with a loss unless you're state champs. So you look at Ridgeview. They ended with 2 losses because they had a heartbreak against Lemoore in the section finals, and they lost to a really good JW North team. You look at Independence girls. 2-time section champs had to go on the road in the SoCal playoffs and lost on the road. You look at Kern Valley boys, win the section championship. They're a 3rd time in it. Congratulations. But you move from D5 to D4 in the playoffs, and you got to go play the 1 seed. I mean, you look at those moments, and those are just 3 of the many that we talk about. Taft boys play an incredible game against Emmanuel in the finals, in the D4 section finals. And then, they get a low seed because they're, central section basketball. But for you to be able to give these guys and these girls the moment, Charmaine, let's look at the video of the All-Star game and just kind of, being able to put them out there on the court one last time at Centennial. It was just a lot of fun for them last night. And I know all of these seniors really had a good time.
Yeah, they did. I had a lot of friends contact me last night and this morning and ask me, hey, what'd you think? Was it successful? And I said, it's hard to tell. We'll know over time. When we talked to a bunch of people, and they said, hey, I don't care. Just the smiles on those kids' faces tells me they had a good time, and that's really what it's about. So they made me feel a lot better. Or, I felt good anyways. But
it was funny, Jesse Soto, first-year coach at Garces on the girls' side, every time one of his girls was over on the other side, on the yellow team, he was coaching the red team, he just had this mile-wide grin. And that really kind of solidifies the moment. There's Jesse right there, actually, with Ebony Sanders after she won the three-point contest. And you see Brandon Gonzalez here. He won the three-point contest. And he actually beat his teammate, Aaron Marcus,
that
in the finals.
Shot last night, didn't he?
Yeah, he was on it last night. And they're right there. 2 guys that have never played high school basketball together, Elijah Hill and Brandon Gonzalez, shaking hands and having a good time. Pardeep Dawn, mad that he wasn't in a three-point contest. What'd he do? Ooh. He made 6 last night during the game. He was on fire. There's your game MVP, Tyrell Coleman. Kid with the biggest hands in the world. I tell you, they reach halfway up my wrist. It's incredible. And then Jalen Simpkins, acting like he's Steph Curry last night. And the thing was, is it wasn't the only time. The very next possession, he comes back, hits it from the wing. So, I mean, you look at that video and, those moments last night, and the goal team was down, about 8 points there late. And so what did they start doing? You implemented 10-point half-court shots the last 5 minutes. And so you see guys like Isaiah Martin that are coming back and heaving up these half-court shots. And, win or lose, they're just having fun. And there was a lot of oohs and ahs. But, gosh, there were a lot of oohs and ahs for that slam dunk contest. Charmaine, let's show this video really quickly. It starts with Bryson Neal at Independence, who just jumps out of the gym. I mean, this kid almost hits his head. And there's Elijah Hill to Malcolm Johnson from, as far up as you can get in the stands as possible. And then Isaiah Martin just brought down the house last night. You look at that 360 with his left hand. Then he comes up with the windmill. And if that wasn't enough, we had your son Nick as my judge last night, which was a lot of fun. Look at little Tymir Ross. Doesn't know what to do, is scared, and then Isaiah just soars over him. And you see a high school basketball player with that much athleticism and really enjoying this moment. And I think that he, of anybody, really kind of got what last night was. Here's a guy, I'm going to talk about Isaiah for, just a second. This is a guy who's, kind of a very reserved guy when he talks to us a lot. But after that loss, Lemoore, I commend Isaiah Martin so much because he was in complete tears after they lost Lemoore. And as they're walking back to the locker room, I just put my hand on his arm and I said, "Can you talk for a second?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he wipes the tears away and he talks to me for like 3 minutes. He didn't have to do that, but he did. And that, to me, in our business, for him to be able to do that in that moment and be an 18-year-old high school kid and not just go, no, I can't talk right now. For him to stop and do that was fantastic. And then everything that he said leading up to last night and during it and afterwards, just about enjoying that last moment in high school. And that's really what these guys did. Brock Simpson talked about it. Jalen Simpkins talked about it. All these guys talked about just enjoying that last moment and having fun. And this is an opportunity that you gave to them.
Yeah, kind of to answer on the end of that with the Isaiah Martin thing, as a former high school and college athlete, every time you play what's potentially your last game, that's how you leave the field, win or lose. Just because that's pretty much the end of the road, and you're a senior, and you're concerned about your future and where are you going to go, what are you going to do. So the cool part about this game was I don't think anybody left crying. So I feel really good about that because they got a chance to enjoy it, like you said, and that's what's so neat. And we've got some other projects in the works here for the next year that I think are going to be just as cool.
Huh?
Well, there's some discussion right now amongst a couple wrestling coaches that they've approached me, and we're trying to put together a match of our best wrestlers against Clovis best wrestlers.
Yes.
And so the plan right now is to host that in December.
Okay.
And we still have to iron out some details, but there's that challenge.
Are you going to be able to get everybody away from their big tournaments that they're traveling to get that one day?
Well, the guys I'm working with have indicated there's a date that they've given me. It's December 22nd, I think, is the date that they've given me that won't conflict with any big tournaments.
Okay.
It will count as a contact, but it won't be a team thing. It'll be, Bakersfield against Clovis. And so we're going to do that. And then I've talked to Michael Martin last night. We're having some discussions about possibly hosting a basketball tournament in December. And one of the main reasons for it is, and I was a horrible basketball shot. I couldn't shoot to save my life. But I'm told that when you shoot in an arena like Selland, that the depth perception really affects your shot.
It really does.
Well, that's what I'm going to use it. I wasn't a good shooter because I should have been shooting in Selland
and they'll
Arena.
say the same thing they say at Sleep Train Arena up in Sacramento for the section in NorCal and state finals is that your shooting percentage drops 15 points just on that spectrum alone.
So I'm working with Mike Martin, and I had worked with the city a few years ago about some ideas, and we're just in the very beginning thought process. We haven't approached the city yet about Rabobank and visitors convention and all that, but if we can pull it off, we'd like to do some kind of a tournament over Christmas break in basketball. But like I said, I'm putting the cart before the horse on this.
Yeah.
That would be the ideal scenario to bring some schools in and play.
Well, and that too, because a lot of times what happens is that you get so many different tournaments, and everybody's kind of spread so thin, and you don't get that connection. And if you really want to make the Central section really say, hey, we've got these competitive games, everybody did play everybody, that's the best thing for it, because you get so many teams like Centennial Boys traveled off so many places where, and they were like, oh, but they were only 5-11 when they came out of it. But it's like, look who they play. You look at Ridgeview, it was 15-0, but people kind of scoffed at who they played because they were playing basically league teams in December. So you get that change.
Yeah, and I guess I should also comment that we're kind of putting the cart before the horse by even talking about it, but we start our tournament
that's
scheduling.
Your style, man.
We start our tournament scheduling in April for next year. So, we're not too far ahead. But there's things that we need to do to make sure our kids have that opportunity to be successful. So, the wrestling thing that's in the works. It looks like there's a very good chance it's going to happen. The basketball thing's kind of the next project. We're doing some stuff with tackling that you and I are going to talk about in a week or so, I think.
Yeah, right. You've got a coach from Seattle Seahawks coming in town, so that's cool. I like that. We got about 30 seconds. Can you quick blurb on that?
We're bringing in Rocky Seto from the Seattle Seahawks. He's on the cutting edge of safer tackling. We're doing a big kickoff night on April 1st, and any coach in town, youth level to high school or college, is welcome to come. Saturday morning, Bakersfield Junior College is going to host a clinic kind of as a follow-up on-field thing to Rocky's speech.
And we'll have more of that in the Bakersfield, California in the coming weeks, so make sure you guys check out that. We're going to finish it up here. We want to thank the South High boys soccer team. Had a whole slew of them, 2 segments with them, and a lot of great congratulations to them. Stan Green, thank you for coming on. Thanks to Charmaine for filling in as our director today. You did a fantastic job. I'm Trevor Horn. Zach Ewing will be back. We will be off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks after spring break. So until then, you guys have a safe one. Enjoy the nice weather. Bye-bye.